Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum and a very warm welcome to World this morning. I am your host Hajra Sati and joining me is my wonderful co-host Ahmed Nawaz. Assalamualaikum Ahmed.
Walaikum assalam. Good morning and
Good morning.
Thank you very much for the introduction. As always, Hajra always makes me feel that energy levels are up and everything is up and going. And of course, we've got some very interesting things to discuss on the show today and know more, because we always talk about Pakistan having so much potential when it comes to its resources, our global positioning in the world and all of these things involved.
And the connectivity and the business environment which is flourishing, and before that the Prime Minister was also talking about it, especially with regards to the CPAC and the BRI. So to further delve into this topic and the ease of the business, so we have a very wonderful guest in the studio and I'm really honored, we are really honored to have him in the studio. So without any further ado, I would like to introduce the CEO of Pakistan Single Window, Syed Aftab Haider Saab. Assalamu alaikum sir, and thank you so much for coming to our show.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you very much for having me.
Well, good morning. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic.
Well, the name itself, Pakistan Single Window, just tells us how efficient things are going to be. Single window is the need of the hour everywhere. But one of the flagships right now, and I think a big achievement, is the ongoing Peer Learning Initiative conference event that Pakistan Single Window has just hosted. So if you could please brief us about that.
Thank you very much. Before I start telling you about the PLI event that we are hosting right now in Islamabad, I think it would be appropriate to give you a very brief introduction of what the single window is, because when we talk about windows, everyone thinks that we are constructing a physical window and there would be people standing behind that, providing services. So basically, Pakistan Single Window is a federal government initiative. It is part of our compliance commitments under the World Trade Organization's Trade Facilitation Agreement. And what we are doing is developing a digital platform for exchange of information on real-time basis. And the ultimate aim is to digitize all our cross-border processes. So it means that all your imports, exports, transit operations that are happening either in Pakistan, from Pakistan, or through Pakistan, they're all going to be digitized. You don't have to go to any customs office, any of the trade regulators' office. You do your digital payments, and this is how it works. The single window is just not confined to a national territory. The concept that's emerging is that you need to integrate globally, regionally, and that's the initiative that we have taken. So the Peer Learning Initiative basically is an initiative taken by the UN International Trade Center. They have this fabulous project running in Central Asia that involves the countries of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. And I was there in May to moderate a session, and I was really inspired by what the people were doing over there in terms of digitization of their trade information portals, single window systems, and I could see the potential for collaboration. So we invited them over, and so right now we have delegates from all these 4 countries being hosted by us in Islamabad. And what we are doing is basically exchanging ideas, experiences, best practices on how we can reform trade and customs processes to reduce the time and cost of doing business, to enhance regional trade and connectivity. And I was just listening to the Prime Minister's speech, and I think this event could not have come at a better time, because the Prime Minister is there and he's talking about enhancing regional trade. And this is what single window integration is all about.
Okay, and we have seen the Prime Minister also talked about the BRI flagship project of the CPAC, and obviously Pakistan wants to connect to the regional world out there, towards the global world out there. And where do you think fits the trade expansionism, and where did your organization comes into view?
Well, again, that's again a very good question. One of the most innovative things that we are doing is that we are enabling Pakistan to connect with international systems electronically. Now, if you look at the way we trade, what happens is that if you want to import something from China, for example, container is dispatched, it comes to Pakistan, it spends a lot of time on the ports because the importers have to provide the documentation in physical formats, have to go to different offices, get the stamps, and get the clearances. And normally it takes more than 5 to 6 days for a single container to get cleared from the ports in Karachi, and that is too much time if you benchmark it against the best countries in the world. What we are doing, for example, for starters, are also in discussions with China. The cabinet just approved the framework cooperation agreement that we have agreed with China to integrate our single window with China's single window.
Wonderful.
And what we hope to achieve by that is that all the information from China will be coming directly in our system. So you don't need any paper. The container comes at Karachi port, the information is already there with customs and other trade regulators, and they just immediately clear the container within a few hours.
It's verified immediately.
And it's verified immediately, authentic, reliable information provided by China customs and other government government agencies. That's a breakthrough. Pakistan Customs, of course, is the lead agency for single window. Single window company itself is a national company, it's a state-owned company. We have people from the Ministry of Commerce, Customs, and different government agencies working with us. But for a lot of interface that we have within the government, it's Pakistan Customs, which is the official lead agency.
It has dynamically.
Yeah, of course. And so this framework agreement is one of the developments that everyone is actually looking at with great interest, because China, as far as we know, has just one arrangement in place, and that is with Singapore. So if we achieve this integration, we hope that the Prime Minister would be in China by the end of this month, and this agreement would be signed by both sides. But if this happens, inshallah, we would probably be the second country to be integrated with China directly.
Which is, of course, I think a massive achievement on our part as well. Because technology is something that is revolutionizing the world right now, and we need to keep up. We've always been that, a step behind, and this is our time to probably make amends for this. But for far too long, our trade policies and dynamics have been, and this is my personal thought, of course, have been oriented towards European countries. We've been after the GSP plus status and whatnot. Could you also highlight the trade potential in Central Asian countries right now? Because SECA is happening, and the Prime Minister just said it as well, that if all of us are working together, be it through rail network, through the roads infrastructure, or by air and by sea, it is a phenomenal resource that is available in this region.
Look, historically, the Central Asian region and South Asian region have been connected. We all grew up listening to the stories of how caravans from Central Asia would come towards Pakistan wearing textiles and ceramic products and carpets, and would take back spices and other things from this region. For the last 50-60 years, probably the way international politics has shaped up, we have taken a pivot towards Europe and America, and of course they remain our biggest export markets. Most of our exports go to the US and to EU, so there's a big interest that we have over there. But at the same time, for the last many years, the government of Pakistan is refocusing its efforts towards the Central Asian region. Unfortunately, despite the higher trade potential, the bilateral trade remains low, and one of the reasons for that is because there's not enough trade connectivity. If you need to go and visit Astana, for example, you will have to transit through Dubai or one of the Middle Eastern states, and that's just not feasible for most of the Pakistani businessmen. So it's just not the single window that would help facilitate the contacts. We also need to have a very efficient transport routes in place. We need to have airline links in place to make sure that there's business-to-business contact. What we are doing as single window is we are trying to connect the Pakistani exporters with the Central Asian importers and provide a platform whereby they can enter into agreements.
Right, and adding to this conversation more, we have seen that Central Asian region is one with very energy-rich region, and our neighborhood is very energy-deprived region when it comes to that. And of course, we can connect, we can provide a best platform to connect those regions when it comes.
Yes, absolutely. CASA 1000 being one of those projects that has been deliberated a lot when it comes to this region as well.
And talking about the potential, of course, now we want to talk about what are the main challenges or hurdles that are there which hampers the trade connectivity.
Well, for starters, there's one thing, we have a problem on having secure, stable routes to Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a big player. They have this location whereby they have the access to Central Asian countries. And, even though Pakistani businesses are very comfortable in transiting through Afghanistan, the international partners, the international community still have issues over there. So that's one thing. But I hope that, with initiatives like the CISA summit and other bilateral arrangements that we have in place, that situation would also be restoring to normalcy, and we see a lot of growth and trade between Pakistan and the Central Asian republics. Again, as the single window operator, as somebody who's building this system, what we hope to do is to minimize human intervention. We would like to reduce the border clearance times, reduce the congestion, and shift as much work possible away from the physical spaces to the digital space, so that the consignments can just move seamlessly through the area. That is our aim. Once that happens and we are able to integrate with the Central Asian systems, I think there would be immense growth.
How important does then PLI become when we talk about the exchange of data between the Central Asian states and us as well?
This is very, very important. I mean, and I think this connects to your question, Hajra, about the challenges. The biggest challenge that you usually have in these kind of programs is to have ownership and participation from all the stakeholders. You know, when you think about single window, most of the people think that it's an IT intervention or a technology intervention. It's just not IT. It involves a lot of change management. It involves a lot of political ownership. You need to have a shared vision. And what the PLI does is that it's bringing all these different customs and trade experts from different countries into Pakistan, allowing them to create a network, bond, share ideas, and when they go back, they're going to go back with the capabilities that we have developed for integrating with the systems. And we hope that this would create enough ownership in those countries for making a headway for us.
Right.
Very interesting. I think, Hajar, when we talk about this domain, we see a lot of data exchange that can not just help in the realm of trade and, you know, port management, but there are many other domains which will open up eventually because of this exchange of technology.
Right. So we have seen that Pakistan single window is a big stakeholder when it comes to the regional or the trade connectivity. So what are you doing exactly in this field? Where do you fit in the equation?
So we provide a digital platform, and we are going beyond what most single windows do in the world. You know, when you talk about how other countries have developed a single window, it's just paperless customs.
Right.
We are not just digitizing customs. Customs in Pakistan, alhamdulillah, was already digitized. We are digitizing the entire ecosystem for trade.
Wonderful.
We are a public sector company. Our platform is government owned, but at the same time, we are building linkages with the private sector. So I am very, very private sector oriented. I've invited most of the startups who are working into it, transportation, logistics, to come and join our platform. So for example, if there's a private sector company that works in trucking, come get integrated with our platform, and you have like 60,000 people who are using our platform right now. They would book your trucks using our platform for transit and trade.
So we're opening up business avenues for everybody.
Of course. And you know, a lot of startups fail because they don't get access to the right audience. We are offering that platform. We have the legal backing. We have the government ownership. And like I said, we have like 80,000 people right now using our platform. So make use of that.
Right.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
So I really wanted you to talk about the services that you are providing to the audiences.
That's very important, yes.
So right now, the first thing that we did is that we have introduced a digital Know Your Customer service. Basically, what it does is that it provides customs registration within a few minutes. Previously, it used to take 22 documents and maybe weeks to get customs registration. But now all you need is a national tax number. You put it in our system, and within 30 minutes, including the time that you need to go to another kiosk to do your biometrics, you are done, you get the registration, and you can start importing, exporting.
That's how efficient it is.
It is very efficient, and it's like one of the most innovative things that we have done in the government sector. The other thing that we are doing is that we have digitized 5 government departments right now. It's the Department of Plant Protection, Federal Seed Certification Registration Department, PSQCA, Animal Quarantine Department. These are all departments that have, amongst them, impact about 60% of all trade. So all their licenses, permits, everything is being issued electronically. People don't have to go to their offices. Significance of this reform is that if you have been to Karachi, the distance between the Department of Plant Protection office and the port is about 30 kilometers. And so you have to make multiple trips.
Depending on the traffic.
And depending on the traffic, it takes like hours to just get those stamps. Now everything has been eliminated. Go on the platform, get it electronically issued, doesn't take any time.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Aftab Haider, thank you very much for joining us. It's been really insightful, and I think more than an organization or a company, I think it's a revolution that we've got as well. So I think the revolution aspect of it, how we're revolutionizing things, is very, very important. At this moment, what can we expect in the near future? I mean, PLI is one of these platforms where we're connecting. So as far as the exchange of data or the exchange of knowledge or more such events or initiatives are concerned, where we can probably come towards the, conferences and exchange of experiences, is something to benefit from. So what can we see in the near future right now?
So inshallah, I mean, this was the first event that Pakistan Single Window hosted as a company, and we think that it announces our arrival on the international stage as a company, as a Pakistani-owned company that has international ambitions. And we think that this would be the first stepping stone for having more engagements on international level. From next year onwards, we plan to have deeper engagements on all the multilateral platforms that the World Customs Organization offers, or UN ITC offers on in different areas. For example, we have just been invited to participate as a speaker in the World Customs Organization Technology Conference being organized next week in Holland, and I would be the only Pakistani who would be speaking in that. I think it's a great honor for the single window as well as for the country, because nobody really knows Aftab Haider, right? It's Pakistan and the single window that is bestowing that honor on us. So, I mean, we are very proud of the journey that we have made so far. Alhamdulillah, we just hope that we would continue doing what we are doing. And there are a lot of exciting things coming.
But heroes can't be hidden, so you can't say people don't know Aftab. But you know, it's absolutely intriguing to find out doing something so visionary and serious and still keeping a killer smile on his face. You got to learn from the man himself. How's he able to put that up as well. But thank you very much, Aftab Saab, and all the best for the initiatives. And I think, like I always say, people like you and this organization are what Pakistan is all about. So thank you very much for your services.
Thank you very much as well, and I'm really thankful to the PTV World management for giving us this opportunity.
Always there. Well, thank you very much. We talk about changing perspectives at PTV World, and of course, Single Window is doing that. So why not connect together as well? Well, we've got something very interesting coming up, Hajra. We're going to be talking about some more interesting facts and figures. It's going to be Hajra's realm now of research. But right after this short break, stay tuned to World This Morning.